So we have arranged, means Adda 24/7 has arranged a felicitation ceremony on 1st May, 12 p.m. at this place, Gurugram. Okay. So Adda 24/7 will reimburse your AC 3-tier ticket. So be there. Okay. Download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. What will you get in this app? Basically, you will get all the study material, all the classes, all the tests, even the Macmillan books now. So you are getting everything over here. Why to go here and there? Also join Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. You will get the updates over here also. Okay. So join this and download this. We are running this ABM, BFM and retail batch since March 28th from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. English batch. It's totally an English batch. We are covering all the numericals plus case studies. Plus, remember how many case studies are there? In ABM and BFM you have 12 case studies each. Okay, so 60 marks for only case studies. So don't miss this class. BFM is yet to start. BFM will be starting on May, first week of May. Okay, so be there. We are the official partners of IIBF and Macmillan, so we are bigger and better. IIBF doesn't tie up with any Tom, Dick and Harry. Always use these codes Y432, okay, for any of your purchases. This is basically the key to your discounts basically, okay. So let's start with the topic. So the topic is basically means what are the economic reforms which have gotten. We'll be covering the objective questions and this topic regarding the Indian economy. See here, why have I chosen this topic? Because if you want to know the economic reforms, firstly you must understand what is Indian economy, what does it consist of in from the banker's parlance. Okay, economy is a huge topic. You won't be able to cover even in 1 year, right? So we have to study as per CAIIB. So Indian economy has basically 3 sectors: primary, secondary and tertiary, right? Primary is what? Agri. Secondary is industry related and tertiary is service. Now you'll say, what is this? See here, this is always based on the jobs. Okay, jobs they provide. It is not based on the GDP share, because agri provides almost 60% of the jobs. Agri means not only agri related industries also. Okay, so the 60% of the jobs are provided by this industry. It is 20% roughly, 20 to 25, roughly 30. Some book it depends on period to period, roughly 20 to 30, and service industry is roughly 10 to 20 on an average. Okay, so this is a job related sector, means this is a classification based on the jobs. Okay, now what is the share towards the GDP? Tertiary sector means service sector is roughly 60%. Means look at the irony of Indian sector, Indian economy. Tertiary sector is the least sector over here in terms of jobs, and its share in GDP is 60%. Means the ones who are in the least sector. Tertiary means what do you mean by service? All these bankers, we bankers, financial institutions, IT industry, all these are service industries. Okay, so we give the 60% of the share. Secondary is industries. Industries generally give what they provide the job and what do they give the share. It's generally the same. If they provide 30%, they'll provide 30% over here. Okay, primary is agri. So agri provides 60% of the jobs and gives 12 to 15. This 12 may vary. 12 to 15% of the GDP share. Now this is the real problem, because I won't say problem is with the agriculture. It's not that. We have to look at how to combine this service sector with agri. Once we are able to combine these two, then remember our GDP share of agri will grow hugely and India will become the #1 economy. Okay, so sector by workforce: primary roughly 51 to 60%, secondary tertiary goes to around 20 to 25 roughly on an average, 20% on an average. Okay, 20 to 25 on an sometimes. Secondary is roughly 20%. Okay, now we come to the objective questions of basically economic reforms. What are the reasons for introducing the economic reforms in 1991? When was our economy opened up? In 1991. Why? Who did it? Manmohan Singh government, right? At that time. I mean, in fact, he was a finance minister, right? So, what was the need of doing this? See here, look at the reasons. Gulf War, it had happened. At Iraq War at that time, right? Negative BOP, yes, it had happened. Increase in fiscal deficit, yes, it was there. Negative BOP means it will definitely lead to fiscal deficit, right? So 2 and 3 are connected. So were all the three reasons there or only one of them? So think over it. Type the answer. Let me see what do you type. Yes, many of you are typing 4. 4, 4, 4, 4. Correct answer is 4. All of the above. Because Gulf War had just happened at that time, Iraq War. And the economy was, means there was a huge supply and demand gap because of the for the oil, right? So that's why there was a huge problem for Indian economy, and then we opened up the economy. Of course, there are varied views for that, whether good or bad, what was the case. That's a separate part of discussion. For us in CAIIB, we are only concerned with 1 mark, right? Means our target is 50, right? Minimum 50, and above that, whatever we get is best. Dash is a policy that helps integrate a domestic economy with the world economy. So what is the policy which helps integrate the domestic economy with the world economy? Liberalization, globalization, privatization, or none of the above? Type the answer. Now you will get confused. I know. Definitely you will get confused. I'll tell you. You will get confused between 1 and 2. Liberalization and globalization. Definitely. Okay. So type the answer. I'll give you the hint. 1 or 2 only. No 3. Okay. So what is the hint? 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Okay. So the answer is, what are you typing? Yes. Everyone is typing 2, 2, 2. Some are typing 1 also. Yeah. The correct answer is globalization. P. Here, always remember, liberalization means what? Liberalization means liberating the economy from the clutches of what? Liberating the economy from what? From the clutches of that this babugiri we call it, right? Bureaucracy. Liberating it from the clutches of bureaucracy and opening it for the capitalist or new businessmen to come in, right? That's liberalization. But globalization means what? Globalization means you are integrating your economy with the world economy. That's where WTO comes in, World Trade Organization, right? We had signed that agreement of WTO, that earlier it was called as GATT, right? So this is answer is B. Got this point, everyone? Next, to solve the balance of payment crisis in 1991, the Indian rupee was dash against the foreign currency. Now you will think 1991, why this 1991 only? So many years have passed, right? But remember, 1991 was a major phase in Indian economy which changed the overall structure of Indian economy. Okay, that's why this 1991 is always crucial. Okay, the Indian rupee was what? Dash against the foreign currency, appreciated, depreciated, revalued and devalued. So what is the answer? Appreciated. Okay, I'll give you one answer. Hint. 1 or 2 only. Revalued and devalued are not the answers. So appreciated or depreciated? Which one? So it was type. Appreciated. Somebody is typing appreciated. Is it appreciated? Think again. It was this devalued. Depreciated or devalued? See here. Always remember, both the things mean roughly the same. Depreciation of currency and devaluing of the currency, roughly the same. So that's why I was thinking of what you will be answering, because you should be firm on your answer. See here, why did I give you this example? See here, the answer is devalued, that's for sure. But what happens is, many a times in exam, we feel pressurized due to some answer, but our heart says something like this. So we must stick to our heart. So the answer was devalued. Devalued means what? What do you mean by devaluation of a currency? See here, if let's say the currency $1 is roughly, let's say, 80 rupees. Okay. Now if I bring this 80 rupees to $1, let's make it 50 rupees. What will happen? Is it appreciated or depreciated? Firstly, tell me that. If I bring this $1 for 80 rupees to $1 to 50 rupees, I am appreciating the rupee. I am appreciating the rupee, correct? So that is called as appreciation. And what did we do? We actually devalued the currency. In exam, you won't be getting this both the answers 2 and 4. You will be getting either 2 or 4, because both mean one roughly one and the same, depreciated and devalued. Okay, roughly. So if the currency is, let's say, $1 equals to 80 rupees and I bring it to 100 rupees. So $1 equals to 100 rupees means rupee is depreciated or devalued. Okay. So in exam, be sure that though you won't be getting the answers 2 and 4, you will be getting either 2 or 4. Okay. Which of the following is the outcome of globalization of country's economy? So globalization of country's economy leads to what? Leads to what? Outsourcing, privatization, liberalization, and none of the above. Outsourcing, privatization, liberalization. See here, we want the outcome. Okay. So liberalization is not the answer. Privatization is not the answer. Why privatization not the answer? Because let be our economy be anything, means this command economy or this mixed economy or this last one is capitalist economy. Let it be anything. Once you globalize it, then what should follow? The major thing which follows is outsourcing. A. Okay. So A is the answer. Outsourcing. Always remember, due to globalization, many, you see what is the outsourcing percentage which India has received after globalization. Look at the IT industry. Okay. So that is the basic reason, and that is the basic outcome. Okay. Which of the following arguments are made in favor of privatization of country's economy? Means, why should we privatize the country's economy? It helps to revive sick public sector units. So reviving the sick public sector units, is it possible? Privatization. Okay, think over it. It creates a competitive environment for businesses. So a competitive environment will be created for businesses, right? It helps to protect the sovereignty of the consumer. Remember, the consumer. Okay. So is it right, or all of the above? How can the sick units be revived? See here, how can it be done? I'll tell you. Suppose if we go for privatization, the sick units, public sector units, which have fallen, which have stopped functioning. So what will happen? Some private company will take it and revive it. So this way it is possible. Competitive environment, more privatization, more companies in the market. So definitely there will be a huge competition. Protect the sovereignty of the consumer. Sovereignty means what? Consumer should have a choice to purchase from wherever he or she wants. If it's a monopoly, then the consumer doesn't have the sovereignty. So that's why the answer is all of the above. Okay. These 1, 2, 3, 4 or ABCD, you can call it anything. Okay. Gilt-edged market means, gilt edge. Gilt means what? Bullion, market of government securities, market of guns, and market of pure metal. So answer already I have given it over here. Government securities means gilt. Government securities means gilt. Okay, always remember this basic. What are the three types of market generally? Equity, debt, and this liquid market, right? So liquid market consists of gilt funds. Okay. In last one decade, which one among the following sectors has attracted the highest FDI inflows in India? Means which sector has attracted the highest FDI? Chemicals, service sector, food processing, telecom. What do you think? Of course, many of you might not be knowing, but what do you think may be the answer? What do you think may be the answer? Many of them are typing B, service sector, but the answer is something else. The answer is telecommunication. Why? Always remember, you see all the changes which have happened in chemical, services, food processing, anything, they have happened due to what? They have happened due to internet. And what is internet? Internet is telecommunication. When the internet came on the mobile, then only the changes happened in this world. Means basically in India, right? So that's why maximum, this is the core, this is the basic foundation on which all these sectors have flourished. Okay, so that's why maximum FDI has come in telecom. Devaluation of a currency means, devaluation, reduction in value of the currency vis-a-vis the major internationally traded currencies. Means reduction in the value of rupee, let's say, versus the dollar. Is it right? Permitting the currency to seek its worth in the international market means permitting let it freely float in the market. So is this devaluation here? Devaluation means something forced. I force something to do. Okay. So when I devalue the currency, what do? I deliberately reduce the value of my currency. Fixing the value of the currency in conjunction with the movement of the value of the basket of the predetermined currencies. Now this can also see here the fight will be between A and C. Okay. So conjunction with the movement in the value of the basket of predetermined currencies. Basket means what's here? When you compare dollar, you compare it with what? You compare rupee, you compare it with what? Either dollar or pounds, right? Or Australian dollar or Japanese yen. So you're comparing with major currencies, right? So C can be the answer. Fixing the value of the currency in multilateral consultation with IMF, World Bank and major. No, nothing. This is D is out. So check the answer. What do you think? A, B or C? Type everyone. A, B or C? A, B or C? A, B or C? Yes. So the answer is against the major traded currency. That's why I said the fight is between A and C. Now you'll say, what about this Japanese yen and other, if I am comparing only against dollar, what about the others? So remember, when I am comparing it against the dollar, the other currencies, pound and yen, they are also comparing themselves against the dollar. And then how do I compare my currency with yen? So I compare it with the equations, like yen to dollar is this much, rupee to dollar is this much. So then I compare rupee to yen is what? It's like that. So major this pegging or benchmarking is on what? A. Okay. Since independence, both development and non-development expenditures have increased, right? In the budget session, I have taken this development and non-development. Okay. The increase in the former being little more than the other means former means earlier one. Development is a major one. Okay. Mean development expenditure is more. What is non-development expenditure? Okay, that is the basic question. Non-development expenditure involves, what does it involve? Interest payment, subsidies, defense and irrigation. What will it involve? Non-developmental means nothing new is produced. So interest payment, little non-development expenditure involves. What does it involve? Interest payment. Is it development part? Something new comes out. Subsidies, something new comes out. Defense, something new comes out. Irrigation or agri you can call it. Yeah, because irrigation leads to agri. Something new comes out. So answer is what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2. Type the answer. Everyone should type the answer. Everyone. Answer is correct. C. Because non-development expenditure, interest payment, subsidies and defense. Defense is also non-development expenditure. Of course it is needed, right? Subsidies are needed, interest payments are needed. So these are the need, but they don't develop anything. Okay. Depreciation means closure of a plant due to lockout. This everyone should be able to answer. Closure of a plant due to labor trouble. Loss of equipment over time due to wear and tear. Destruction of a plant in fire accident. This is so easy that every one of you should answer it correctly. So the answer is type everyone. Everyone should type. Answer is yes, everyone. I am seeing so many views and very few typing. So everyone must type. Answer is C. Correct? Deficit financing leads to inflation in general, but it can be checked if means deficit financing means what? See here, deficit financing means if the government spends more on infrastructure and has a lesser tax income or revenue income. So this will have to be, the gap will have to be filled, right? So that gap filling is known as deficit financing. This can be done in one or two ways. It can be done by issuing the bonds or selling the assets. So capital income can be brought in. So these 2-3 ways are there. We have covered this in budget. Okay. So, but it can be checked, means deficit financing can be checked, means can be curtailed, can be limited if Government expenditure leads to increase in aggregate supply in the ratio of aggregate demand. Only aggregate demand is increased. All the expenditure is denoted in the national debt payment only, and all of the above. Difficult one. Okay, I'll answer it. Okay. So option is D. Why? All of them. Means how can you check, how can you limit the deficit financing? Here, government expenditure leads to increase in aggregate supply. Here, what does happen when you deficit finance means you spend more on the infra. What happens? Leads to increase in aggregate supply. Means what? There are more jobs available then. There are more, means the whole economy starts gearing up. So that's why A is the answer. Only aggregate demand is increased. So aggregate only is not if B should have been the answer, then only answer would have been there. But we'll just discuss aggregate demand is increased. Yes, it is increased. Why? Because once the government starts spending on the infra, the economy starts moving up. The economy starts moving up means what? There is more demand. People will get more money in their hands and more demand will come. All the expenditure is denoted in the national debt payment only. Means what? All the expenditure is denoted national debt payment. National debt payment means what? See, if you do the deficit financing, means more spending on the infra, then this expenditure, whatever has happened, this gap, negative gap which has happened, that negative gap will be denoted in national debt payment. Means how do you make the national debt payment? National debt payment means if you take a loan for financing this gap. So that will, why did you take that loan? For infrastructure, developmental part. Okay. So this developmental part, when you take a loan for that, that definitely increases the economy. So ultimately you will get some major amount vis-a-vis the loan which you have taken. Okay. So that's why deficit financing can be checked using all of these three. Means what does the C say? Your deficit financing or your spending should not go on non-productive sectors. Okay, like that interest, not defense actually, interest, subsidies, that should be curtailed to maximum extent. That's what this economics says. A systematic record of all economic transactions completed between residents of a country and the rest of the world is known as, means residents of a country, we as Indians and rest of the world. So that will be denoted in what? National capital flow, net capital flow, balance of payment, balance of trade, absolute flow. What will be the answer? A, B, C or D? Which one? A, B, C or D? Type. Yes. So the answer is correct. Balance of payment. Everyone has typed B only. So understand, I'll just give you for those who didn't understand this balance of trade and balance of payment. Balance of trade means it's a current account. Current account means all import and export which is done, it is done in balance of trade. And balance of payment means what's here? Ultimately this balance of payment will be included in balance of trade, will be included in balance of payment. Because it's current account and current account's net profit will be included to the owner. Balance of payment is the owner, basically country's basically savings account you can call it. Okay. So balance of payment will include all the net figure from this plus whatever the residents of a country send it outside or some residents staying outside in foreign countries send the money back, right? That will all come in balance of payment. Okay. So ultimately balance of payment is not related to, means whatever is related to business will be in trade and whatever is related to other things other than business will be in payment. Okay. Which among the following in India releases the data on balance of payment? Who releases balance of payment? CSO, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce and RBI. Balance of payment means what? Current account of the bank, of a government. Okay. Government also has two accounts, current and saving. Simple. Current means balance of payment, saving means, current means balance of trade and saving means balance of payment. So who will give the data? The bank. Which is the bank? RBI. Isn't it? So that's why answer is D. It's that simple. Right? So everyone has typed D only. I have seen this in the comment section. Okay. Deposit insurance is limited to the level of protection provided by the government to the depositors against the bank failures, right? Why is this DICGC there? For this bank failures, okay? Which among the following does not come under the purview of deposit insurance? Means what is not a part of this deposit insurance? Which organization? Commercial banks, branches of foreign banks, local area banks and NBFCs. Now this is easy. Everyone should be able to answer this. A, B, C or D. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Between B and D. Not a part, huh? Not a part. Between B and D. Between B and D. So, now everyone is typing correctly. Answer is D, NBFCs. DICGC is only for banks. All the banks. Okay. The basic WTO principle with reference to trade barriers is, what does WTO say? Trade barriers can be imposed by any country that believes it will benefit from such trade barriers. Means can be imposed. WTO is not of that logic. Says it always says rationalize the barriers. Rationalize. It doesn't say minimize. Trade barriers should be lowered equally and without discrimination for all member countries. Trade barriers can be imposed if the majority of the members of WTO agree. Means they can be imposed to the higher extent. Trade barriers should be same in all member countries so that the result is equivalent to free trade. So they should be same in all the countries. Can WTO say this? Means in India and US, trade barriers need to be same. The import duties need to be same. What do you mean by trade barriers? The import duty and the export duty. That's the basic thing. Okay. So the answer is what? What do you think? What do you think? Write that. A, B. Okay, hint A, B. Okay, I won't give the hint over here because A, B and D is also the seems to be the correct one. So the correct answer is trade barriers should be lowered equally and without discrimination for all member countries. So it should be without discrimination. It shouldn't happen, and this is major problem. Okay, because many of the countries discriminate. You also might be reading the newspapers. This country has imposed duty on the import from these goods from this country. It happens. Okay, so that's what WTO says. Even India does it. It's not a separate thing because, and it's nothing bad. WTO might say anything because it's a personal view basically. So WTO might say this, but if country wants that some nation is a hostile nation of theirs, so they'll definitely try to increase the import duties on that for the goods on that country from that country, right? With reference to India, consider the following: low trade deficit, higher foreign portfolio investments, higher external commercial borrowings. Which among the following above help in lowering the current account deficit? So current account deficit means what? Difference between import and export. Okay, that is basically meaning of current account deficit. So which lowers? Lower trade deficit, higher FPI, higher ECB. Only 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3 and only 2 and 3. So the answer is C, 1, 2 and 3. Higher this lower trade deficit, higher foreign portfolio investment, higher ECB. Okay, all of them basically. What do you mean by this trade deficit is, means difference between this current and import and export. Foreign portfolio means two types of investments are there. One is FDI, second is FPI. FDI means direct investment. Here the person invests in machinery, land, everything. FPI means only stock markets or bond markets. Input the money, take the profit, go back. ECB is what? Taking loans from outside countries, right? This can be in the form of what? There are 2-3 types of ECBs for banking purpose. Specifically for banking purpose, I'll tell you. It is buyer's credit and supplier's credit. Generally, for what we see. So buyer's credit and supplier's credit is a type of ECB, of course to the lower amount. So we'll study that in BFM. So the answer is C, 1, 2 and 3, all of them. Okay. Which sector is called the primary sector? This is the easiest question in CAIIB. Industrial, service, external, agri. Primary is agri. Okay. CSO classifies industrial sectors into how many segments? Industrial. Okay. CSO classifies them in? Yes. So the answer is 3. Okay. 3. Then MSc. Class MSc means, see here, now the word MSc is gone, but this question might come. Because now we call it MSME, right? Micro, small and medium enterprises. So what does MSc mean? Medium and small, micro and small, medium, small enterprises, none of the above. Just now I told you micro, small and medium. So the answer is micro and small. If you add M in between, then medium, okay? Service sector is also called as primary, secondary, tertiary. Easiest again. So the answer is definitely tertiary, okay? The share of service sectors in national income from last 10 years is increasing, decreasing, constant, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is the answer? Service sector. It is growing, right? So that was it. I'll again suggest we are running with the batch of ABM, BFM and retail from March 28, 6 am to 8 am. English batch, the BFM is yet to start. We are covering all the case studies, numericals, objective questions, everything. So join that batch as fast as possible. Now I'll tell you how to join, okay? So for joining, also we have a discounts. What did I tell you regarding the this discount part? What code is to be used? Use the code Y432. How to use that? That I'll show you. See this. Come on Adda247.com. You come here. Now you see this on the front page. Banking and insurance, JAIIB, CAIIB, SSC, railways, gate, teaching. So click on JAIIB, CAIIB. On JAIIB, CAIIB, you see JAIIB, CAIIB, Mahapak, JAIIB, then CAIIB. You can click on CAIIB. In CAIIB, you'll see all the various classes. See this. With my face also, you'll see this this class. Okay. So click on this batch. There are 3 batches available separately. Okay. So you can click on this. Now, once you click on this, see this discount part. 1799 is the fees. View offers. Click on the offer. Y432. Use this code. Never forget this code. Click apply. What has happened? See this is the discount. 1799 has come down to 4139. Okay. Such lower is the fees. So 1799 to 4139. Now this 4139 you'll get all this ABM, BFM, retail, everything plus tests. Now if you clear this, okay, if you clear this exam, CAIIB, how much will be an increment monthly? Roughly 1300 on an average, right? If you are at a clerical level, 2 increments. If you are at officer level, 1 increment. But roughly it comes to 1200 to 1300. Okay. In how many months will you recover this? 3 months roughly. 13 3 is a 39, right? And in the 4th month you are surplus. So whatever you get from the 4th month, so whatever you get up from that 4th month will be yours throughout your life. So this is an investment for basically life. It's not only for CAIIB. Okay. So go for it. I'm waiting. I'll see you in the tomorrow's next lecture again. Also see you in the live batch. Okay.